What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome to my Sunday bonus video. Today we're going to be going through my entire eyeshadow palette collection and pulling the 4 palettes that y'all will have to choose from for my upcoming Throwback Thursday video. So if you're new and you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, Throwback Thursday is a series on my channel that I started as a way to get used to the older eyeshadow palettes in my collection. So the way this works is every Sunday I post a video just like this one, and then I put a poll over my community section with the names and pictures of each of the palettes. I give y'all a few days to vote, and then on Thursday we play with the winner. So we're going to go ahead and start in this top drawer up here and go through and pull out our palettes. Now, every single palette I have in my collection are in this set of drawers right here and then one other drawer down there. The only palettes that are not in here are the ones that have come out since July 1st. So all of those are still a little new. I haven't incorporated them yet, but they will roll in January. But back to business. So the top drawer is going to be Unearthly and Nomad Cosmetics, and I'm kind of deciding if there's anything in here I want to play with. I do have a new Nomad palette to play with, and I feel like we've done a lot of Unearthly as of late, plus I do have a video coming up featuring an Unearthly palette, so I think we're going to skip out on this drawer and just move to the next drawer down, and this one is going to be all of my Ensley Rain, Bella Beauty Bar, Cosmic Beauty, and Adept Cosmetics. Now, let's see what we have under all of the Ensley Rain. This is really the only way I have figured out to fit all of these palettes in here. I'm running out of room. It's a little chaotic. I don't know what I'm going to do when I bring the rest of my palettes in, but I'm definitely going to have a declutter coming up very soon, probably the end of December. But let's see what we have in here. So I think we're going to skip Bella Beauty Bar for now, but do I want to pull an Adept palette? I kind of think I want to pull the Heather Austin palette. This one is absolutely gorgeous and it doesn't get the love that it deserves. Plus it's got some really beautiful fall colors in here. So we're going to pull this one, and then I think we're going to skip out on the rest of these for now. Ooh. Do I want to play with this one? Oh my gosh, this palette is so incredibly gorgeous. Okay, we're going to pull this one too. All right, let's go ahead and put these back. And we're going to skip Bella Beauty Bar and we're going to skip Ensley Rain. So let me figure out how I had all of these in here. It's kind of like a little puzzle putting these palettes back in this drawer. So I don't think that's going to close. Do maybe that and that. Okay, that's gonna work for now. Let's move on to this drawer. So this drawer is going to be all of my Odin's Eye and my Blend Bunny palettes, and I think we're gonna skip this drawer for now as well. I do have all of the holiday palettes in here, and I think we're gonna play with those probably in December. So for now, let's go to the next drawer. And this one, what do we have in here? So we've got Wicked Widow Beauty, Simply Posh, whoops, don't fall out, Simply Posh, we've got Gourmande Girls, and we've got Glamlight, and I think that's it for this one. Okay, so do we have anything in this drawer that we want to pull? I think I'm going to pull the Rick and Morty palette. I have never played with this one before. I got this one very, very recently because so many people have raved about how good this palette is. In fact, mine is still in this, so I will take it out and I'll show you all the color story whenever we get to that point. But for now, I'm just going to kind of leave that be. And I think we're going to, yeah, skip everything else and move. Actually, there is one palette in here that I kind of have in mind. This one right here. This is the Wicked Widow Resurrection palette. Oh my gosh, this is one of my absolute favorite rainbow palettes in my collection. I love the sort of grungy tones. We've got a little bit more dingier tones in here, and it's not just a normal rainbow palette. You've got your black, your gray, your white, and some really cool colors. So we're going to go ahead and pull this one for now. And as always, if we need to dwindle things down and put ones back, we absolutely can. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next drawer. So let me sit on the floor and then we'll carry on. All right, so here we are in the next drawer. And this one is a bit of just a mix of everything. I've got all of my Ladybug Glow back here. We've got some Sugar Drizzle right here, Fantasy Cosmetica, Lethal, and then under Lethal is the rest of my Glaminatrix collection. And then in the back, I've got kind of some odds and ends palettes. So we've got some DD Signature, we've got Divaroon, we've got Titanium Foxes, my Jolie Beauty, and then we've got Game Beauty right here. And there's definitely a couple palettes in this drawer I want to pull. So the first ones I want to pull are these two from Titanium Foxes. They're coming out with a new palette that looks absolutely gorgeous, and these two are beautiful. And I kind of want to do a palette bingo with these two. I had planned on doing a video and then life got the best of me, so I never did. But this is the first one they released. This is Poppy Storm, absolutely gorgeous. And then they came out with Poppy Quiet. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these two as like a palette bingo option. And then the other one that I want to pull, well, let me put these back first before they fall off and shatter and I have a huge mess on my hands. Okay, so the other one that I want to pull is the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. Now this is the Nocturnal mini palette. I never got the original one, and I just got this one a couple of weeks ago. So I want to go ahead and pull this one to play with as well, because I haven't played with this palette yet, and it is absolutely stunning. I really enjoy Glaminatrix. They're one of my favorite brands, but the shipping is so expensive. I have to be very mindful what I order, and I try and order multiple things at one time to kind of be a little bit more cost effective. But moving forward, I think that's it from this drawer, and that's plenty from this drawer. But let's go down to the next one. So down here we have all of my ColourPop over here, and then we've got my Melt Cosmetics. We've got excuse me, I had a frog in my throat. I've got my Cryptine palette. This is the Burnt Forest one. This was the first one the brand ever did, and I think this is still my absolute favorite to date. But we're going to save that one for another week because I've got plenty pulled, especially in that shade range. We've got Sigma, we've got CXC, Beauty Bay, and then back here are my 3 Lunar Beauty palettes. So I think we're going to skip out on this drawer as well and move down to this very bottom drawer. And this one is a very random drawer. It's kind of a little bit of everything, a lot of leftovers in this drawer down here. It doesn't necessarily mean that these are palettes I don't like. They're just kind of one-offs and things that couldn't really fit anywhere else. But I think for this one, I definitely want to pull the Grunge Life palette. This is one I have played with, and this is the one I don't remember if I told y'all this or if y'all remember me telling y'all this, but I had filmed a look with this one and then I absolutely wiped my memory card, so I never got to post it. But this is a stunning palette, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that one as well. And then I think we're going to leave the rest of the drawer be. I think we're just going to kind of roll with what we have. Yeah, I definitely need to do some decluttering. There's some palettes in here that could definitely use a new home. I like them, but having a large collection like this, you don't get to everything, and you want these palettes to get the love and attention that they deserve. So I still haven't played with these two, y'all, and Colored Rain is no longer in business now, so I'm happy I have it, but you can't get this one anymore. Still haven't played with my LH palette. I need to pull that one as well at some point. But let's go ahead and shut this drawer and move on to our last final drawer, which is going to be over here. So let me go ahead and rearrange myself one more time and we'll jump into that drawer. Alright, so this is the final drawer, and this is where all of my high-end and luxury lives, and I've finally been able to fit it all into one drawer. I had to do quite the rearranging. I had a lot like kind of shoved back up in this like empty space, and you couldn't see what was back there, so I was able to get this kind of spaced out better. But I've got all of my Natasha Denona midi palettes right here. My mini ones are back there. I've got some Tarte palettes in here. We've got Huda Beauty, more Natasha Denona, more Tarte. All of my mini palettes from Natasha Denona are back there, with a couple ones from Elf, I think, are back there as well. A lot of the palettes kind of further underneath these are really old palettes in my collection. Like, for example, this is such an old palette. Like, I won't even use this anymore. This is one that I could probably 100% declutter, but it's stuff like that that's back there that I don't want to get rid of, but I will probably never ever use again, but they're in here. We've got Pat McGrath, Patrick Ta, ABH, Lancome, Skin by Kim, Makeup by Mario right there, House Labs, Ofra, all of my Viseart palettes, my Tom Ford quads. What's back here? Guerlain, YSL, just kind of a little mishmash of everything. And I'm looking at that pile sitting right there, and I'm like, I really don't need to pull anything else, but maybe next time I should go backwards. Maybe I should start with this drawer and work my way that way, because there's definitely palettes in here I want to play with, but I think I have enough pulled for this week. So we're going to skip this drawer. I'm going to put it back together, and we're going to go ahead and go through the palettes that I pulled, and we need to dwindle down that stack. Alright, y'all, so these are the palettes that I pulled, and we have way too many per usual, so we need to get rid of about 3 different choices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we need to get rid of 3 different choices and make it to where we only have 4. So I did go ahead and pull this one out of the cardboard, and you'll be happy to know I'm not going to put it back in the cardboard, but this is what this palette looks like. It's very colorful, very bright, very fun, and I'll play with anything any time of year, but I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this one out. And if this one does win, I'm going to do this one palette bingo style as well, just because it's such a huge color story and it's so overwhelming that I think it would be fun to kind of randomly choose 6 shades from this palette and create a look with that. So I am going to leave this one in. I hate these little numbered over sheets, but I might get rid of that as well, because I don't think it pertains to shade names. I think it just pertains to ingredients on the back. Yeah, it does. So let me go ahead and take that out, because it's going to drive me bonkers being in there. Okay. Alright, so we're going to leave this one in, and we're going to leave these in as well, because these palettes are so beautiful and I really want to play with them. So again, it's going to be a palette bingo between these 2 palettes right here. So I'll probably pick 3 shades from each palette and then do a look with that if this little bundle wins as well. And then we're down to these palettes over here. So I definitely want to play with this one because I've never played with it before. It's brand new to my collection. I think it's absolutely stunning, and it's very fall leaning. We're slowly approaching the winter months, and I want to get through as many of my fall palettes as I can so I can get ready for more of the winter palettes. So with that being said, we're going to leave this one out for now. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the tones in here, the blues, the mint greens, some purples up at the top, but we're going to leave that one out. And I think we're going to leave this one out as well, because if this one gets chosen, I want to do a palette bingo style with it as well. But I don't want to have all palette bingo options. So I'm going to leave that one out. And then we're down to these 2 palettes right here. So we've got the Heather Austin Adept palette, and we've got the Salem Cosmetics Grunge Life palette. And I think, actually, you know what's funny? Look how similar those color stories are. They're not the same, but they've got kind of that same vibe going on. It's really cool. I love it. This one up here has more like those periwinkles in it. But I think we're going to go ahead and leave this one in, and we're going to put this one back. So that's going to be our 4 choices for this week's Throwback Thursday video. So going over them one more time, we've got the Salem Cosmetics Grunge Life palette, which looks like this, just in case you missed the close-up that I literally just showed you. Ooh, where'd that lighting come from? Perfect. So there is our first choice, and then we have the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Nocturnal Mini Palette right there. Beautiful. I absolutely love that shade. It's so pretty. I can't wait to play with that one. Our next option is going to be a palette bingo between the Poppy Storm and Poppy Quiet palettes from Titanium Foxes. So one more little close-up for you. So this one's going to be a little bit deeper, a little bit grungier, and then we have the Poppy Quiet palette, which is going to be a lot lighter, more of our springy color story. But when I tell you these two pair together beautifully, I am not kidding you, and the formula in here is impeccable. And then our last option is going to be the Glamlight Rick and Morty palette. And again, this one is also going to be a palette bingo as well if it wins, but that is what that color story looks like. So y'all make sure you head over to my community section, cast your vote. I cannot wait to see what wins as always. And until my next video, y'all have a good one. Bye.